Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rotary. I am your Rotary President, Jane Klingman Scott. Today we are having a program on Youth Development Sports Program, Total Trek Quest, Girls on the Run, and if there's anyone else involved, it just got blocked off by a misprinting. So, you know who you are. So, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Eileen Stouffer will offer the reflection after I give you a moment of literacy. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In our moment of literacy, it's a historical moment. One of the greatest advancements in literacy was made by the Greeks when they invented vowels. Once you have vowels, thousands of images and hieroglyphics and ideographs can be inserted with 24 symbols, which can be beaded together on a horizontal line that is a decipherable code for universal transfer of information. That's what you learned in first grade, the phonics. Now, without vowels, my message to you as we close will be, and you can take a moment to try to figure out what that is while Eileen gives us the reflection.
Hopefully I'm clearer than that. Let us pray. God, grant us in all our doubts and uncertainties the grace to question what we are doing, so that we are saved by the spirit of wisdom from false choices. Grant that in the course of this busy life, we have times of refreshment and peace to rebuild our bodies and renew our minds. Finally, grant that any barriers that divide us will crumble, suspicions disappear, and hatreds cease, so that we can work for and live in justice and peace. Amen.
And with vowels, I said, enjoy your lunch, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. For that, when you eat chips, you're away from the mic. That's all I ask. We do have guests today, so if our host would like to come forward with their guest, we can begin our introductions.
My guest today is Eric Rigetti. He's our AVP of retail on the west side, and he was out here just checking out some of the member centers, so we decided we'd bring him out and show him what Muskegon Rotary was all about.
Thank you. Today, my guest is Elise Erber, and she is our Communications and Development Director for Girls on the Run, and she came because we're part of the presentation today. So.
This is Stacy Kennedy's third visit to Rotary. This is her application to join our club. Welcome, Stacy.
Hello, I'm Chris Colley, and with me today is Kristen Chan from Arbor Circle. She is part of the Total Trek Quest program, which we're going to hear from today. She lives in Holland. She has 2 children and is married. Welcome.
I'm happy to have Benita Jackson. Oh, this way. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. and her fan club. Benita is the donor relations coordinator at the Community Foundation and part of the development team with me. So glad to have her here.
Oh, good. Okay. I was just looking at the screen first. Please join me in welcoming the newest member of the United Way of the Lakeshore family, Kimberly Wilcox. She's our new community relations director. She hails from the other side of the state, but moved to the beautiful Fresh Coast last July. She has 2 degrees from Eastern Michigan. Yep. Go Eagles. And welcome, Kimberly.
Good afternoon, Rotary. Come on over. All right, put down your cookies. They're extra good today, but I need you to focus because we've got guests from Muskegon Catholic. Okay, to introduce 2 of the seniors is Vanessa Marble. She is the assistant principal at the high school.
I'm excited to introduce wonderful seniors at Muskegon Catholic Central, but also want to share with you that tonight is our opening night for our Cinderella Spring musical, so please come on out, buy a ticket at our box office. But I will let our seniors introduce themselves in their own way.
Hi, I'm Finn Maschinaw. I'm a senior at Muskegon Catholic. I've been going there my whole life since preschool, so like 13 years, I think. I play football, baseball, basketball, and I'll be taking advantage of the Muskegon Promise and then going to Michigan State.
Hello, I'm Maxwell Leatherman. This is my first year at MCC, so this is very exciting. I do wrestling, and I would say I'm a little artistic. I like doing that. It's kind of fun. And planning on going to GRCC, so that'll be exciting. So, and then after that, MSU. Woo!
And now our program, and I have that down as Chris Colley as our introducer.
Hello, I'm Chris Colley. I'll be your Oprah Winfrey today. It's my favorite role is to be Oprah. I just wish I had money and cars to give away today, but I don't, sadly. But I have brought a great program to you today around some really great hidden gems in our community around youth development that a lot of people don't know about. So I'm really excited to bring with me Eric and Lisa, who is no stranger to this club, obviously, and Zach. So I'm going to have each one of them introduce themselves.
Eric Sanford, I'm the First Tee Area Director for here in Muskegon.
Lisa Hegenbard, I'm the Executive Director with Girls on the Run.
Zach Yoakum, I'm the Youth Prevention Services Manager with Arbor Circle, and I supervise the Total Trek Quest program.
Thank you so much for being with us today. So you're going to learn some great new stuff about each one of these programs. Eric, why don't you start with a little commercial about who is First Tee, who benefits from it, and what's the impact?
Sure. So First Tee, we are an introduction to golf. Golf really drives that vehicle for us, but how we separate ourselves from the traditional golf lesson is that we teach life skills to kids through the game. So honesty, respect, perseverance, confidence. And then also we've added 5 new key commitments. So goal setting, collaboration with others, things that kids can not only obtain and learn on the golf course, but they can take away and learn and use and utilize in everyday life. The kids that we're really trying to focus on here in Muskegon are kids who ordinarily wouldn't get a chance. So kids that are underserved, kids that are at risk, kids that receive free and reduced lunch at school. That does not mean that we're not an inclusive organization. We will work with all kids. However, there are some opportunities from a financial standpoint that some of our kids who are within our target demographic can come out and participate in our program for absolutely free.
Eric, can you remind us too, you're not just in Muskegon County, what other counties does First Tee?
So the First Tee West Michigan chapter encompasses Muskegon, Holland, Kalamazoo, and Grand Rapids. However, we here in the Muskegon chapter have recently taken on Oceana and Noago in the past year. So this year, 2023, is our first year in those two communities. So we're really excited about that. It's those counties really touch on our target demographic, and really excited about serving those kids up north.
Awesome. Thank you. Lisa, tell us a little bit about Girls on the Run.
Well, Girls on the Run, our focus is really to inspire girls to be healthy, mentally, emotionally, socially, and physically. And, we always say that we really want people to know that we're not just a running program. Many of the schools will say, oh, you're competing against sports, but that's really not our target focus. It really is the girls that, need a program that they can feel included, that they can learn to use their voices for positive in their personal lives, at school, and really make that impact in the community and building their self-confidence. So we really have that focus where it's not, we always say we want people to know we're not a running program technically. So they are running and doing physical activity every day because they're working towards that goal of in completing the 5K events at the end of the season.
No small task. And Zach, tell us about the Total Trek Quest.
Yeah, so the Total Trek Quest program kind of echoes much of what Eric and Lisa have described, kind of target populations and life skills that we're kind of incorporating into our programs as well. We are training to run a 5K together, but essentially we are learning a multitude of life skills, and we're just getting outside. We want to have fun. We want to hang out with friends. And it's just a really great opportunity for us to feel a part of a team and achieve some incredible goals that we're all working together at.
Zach, can you also tell us what areas in Muskegon County that you're currently serving, and perhaps what areas you'd like to be in if you're not already?
Yes, no, we would like to be in as many places and spaces in Muskegon County as we can. Currently, we've been, our current season, we're hosting Oak Ridge Elementary, Upper Elementary School. We've been involved with Churchill, we've been involved with Bona Shores in the past, but we're looking to establish some of those relationships a little bit again. The pandemic, like many other organizations and industries, we're rebuilding, reconnecting, and so that is a really next step opportunity that we're looking to pursue within Muskegon County.
Lisa, how about tell us about Girls on the Run and where are you in Muskegon? And then worldwide.
We do have a national organization, which has been a blessing in disguise during COVID and really helping us kind of pivot and transition when girls couldn't get together. But we serve Kent, Muskegon. We began serving Ottawa County during the pandemic. So, it was some expansion opportunities to ensure that the girls had the program, but we are in almost every school district in Muskegon County with at least one team. Some school districts, we have multiple teams. But, we're one of, I think, about 170 councils in the nation. And, just have to put the plug in that we're so thankful for the community support. We went from pre-pandemic to being in the top 20 councils in the nation for the number of girls that we serve to last year we were 6 in the country. So, we have a lot of girls participating, and, a lot of that is really based on and thankful for the community support.
That's so incredible. So Eric has heard me tell this more than once. Actually, the panelists have, but Lucy, my 10-year-old, participated in First Tee last year. And she, on her first day, she has definitely developed a love of golf. And she comes back from First Tee. I pick her up and I said, well, how did it go today? Did you learn some new golf skills? She goes, no, I learned about integrity. And I was like, that's pretty incredible. When you think about it, out there on the golf course, you got to have a lot of integrity because you can't be lying about those scores. I see some of you, right? Tell us more about those characters that are built through First Tee.
Can you guys hear me? Oh, so, Chris talks about that, the honesty and the respect and the perseverance. You think about honesty, she references integrity, but maybe honesty to us looks like putting the correct score in the scorecard. Or respect out in the community in several different ways. Courtesy is another huge one. A young child or a young man or a young lady that can look someone in the eye and shake their hand and introduce themselves. So, honestly, those are the things that we here in Muskegon have really tried to take on a higher task, in the sense of the golf is great, but the most important part of the program is the life skills portion, and not necessarily focusing on the child to become the next Tiger Woods, which would be great if they were, but becoming a better person along the way. So that's our real focal point.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Lisa, what do you think are the lasting impacts and changes that Girls on the Run has on girls who participate?
Well, I mean, I think we see a lot of it every day. We see a lot in, those that have participated and come back and be coaches, but, really, as we look at the statistics each year, that, 80 to 90% of girls are increasing their self-confidence, which, in the ages of our programs between 3rd and 8th grade is where it starts to kind of die off a little bit. And, they're looking at skills like, avoiding the bullying and really taking a look at, what does that mean, and being kind to each other, and, how we're using our character and our voices in the community really, again, to make change. And so, we're thankful that we have, national statistics that we can share, but, that we do a lot locally too, that coaches are, we have coaches that have been making an impact on girls for 10, 15 years. And we've only been in Muskegon for 19 years. So, we have some that have been with us almost the entire time. So seeing that change, and just sometimes hearing those stories where, parents will say they get to the 5K and they can hear the music and the girls yelling and screaming and supporting each other, and that how much they just can't wait to get there. And, when they're just starting to run a 5K, not most of them are like, I'm so excited to get there. So it's exciting to hear them say they want to get there and they want to, be part of that 5K and celebrating each other.
The energy is magnificent. It is. If you've never been to the rally and the race, it really is an amazing experience for sure. Zach, tell us about Total Trek Quest. That is not easy for me to say.
It is a little mouthful. We go with TTQ. So
TTQ.
If you want to simplify it a little bit.
I like
but essentially TTQ, we are more than a running program as well. We're teaching life skills around peer refusal choices, around unhealthy choices. We're teaching coping through movement. We're mental health and physical health. We're looking at youth development at a holistic approach. And we want to make those connections. We want to teach those lifelong skills because this is an activity that you can do for your entire life if you so choose. You can create groups, you can create teams, you can create community and relationships, and we're creating and building relationships with positive role models with their peers, and so we're really encouraged to be growing more and more season by season. And we just want to be in as many places and spaces to share those experiences, those positive life experiences through our games and activities and having fun and getting outside.
Awesome. So Zach, you alluded to, this little pandemic we had and how that may have affected your program. Tell us about the good, the bad, the ugly of the pandemic when it comes to TTQ.
I'm a start good first kind of guy. So with the good, we continued programming. We did virtual lessons when we were able to get outside. We started connecting at parks and doing our practices at parks, and so utilizing our social distancing. And we still wanted to provide a program. We still wanted to provide an opportunity for us to build community, essentially. And so we're really proud of those efforts. Our numbers were hard to achieve, like many other programs and industries in that regard. But We, like I said again, we are growing season by season again in that rebuild portion. And so currently we have teams in Kent County, Muskegon, Allegan, Ottawa, and Newaygo. And we want to be in more schools in those counties and grow our program even more. We want to bring this program to as many kiddos as we can.
Lisa, how about Girls on the Run? What did you guys do during the pandemic? Did you keep running?
Well, like TTQ, I mean, we had the immediate shutdown and, really took some steps back. But, what they decided at that point in time was we did what we called Goder at Home. So we started immediately staying in touch with families and sending lessons home and videos that they could get on YouTube that helped keep girls moving during that period of time. We did take some steps back, but we went, we were just shy of 1,000 girls, I think in 2021, but back up to, I think we're a little over 2,100 girls in West Michigan that are participating this year. So it's been a relatively quick comeback, but, it was a little bit of stress there. But again, I think it gave us an opportunity to be innovative from our perspective of meeting at parks and, really finding new partnerships that it didn't have to be school-based, which we still are, but having some different opportunities that as long as there's a group of girls, we can be there.
That's incredible. I am a pandemic golfer. Anybody else pick up the sport of golf during the pandemic? That was me. I'm still not great, but I really enjoyed it. And so that was one of the things that people were able to do was just still get out there on the course, right? So how did that positively or negatively affect your program?
So as difficult as this may be for everyone to understand in the room, the pandemic was extremely advantageous for First Tee. We were one of only a very single-minded number of programs that still were in existence outdoors. And during our spring, summer, and fall seasons, we conduct all of our programming outdoors. So it was a big boost in the arm for us as far as participation. And the biggest piece of that was collaboration with community partners who wanted to come and bring their kids outdoors. So, in turn, I think we learned some new things about safety and taking some extra precautionary action in certain areas. But overall, the pandemic was a big boost for us as an organization.
It's funny how it ebbs and flows, right? But great going for all of you to keep the wheels turning on your programs. Not an easy thing to do, especially when school is such an important pathway to a lot of the programs. So what are ways that the general public supports your causes? We know that you will always accept generous donations. I'm positive of it. But also, what are ways that people can get engaged and involved? Eric?
So for us at First Tee here in Muskegon, I think it's twofold. And for us, it's volunteers. And what I mean by volunteers is coming out and being part of our 6-week sessions. So First Tee has become a year-round opportunity for our students, spring, summer, fall, and even indoors in the winter. And it's important for us in the sense of we can't run our programs without great volunteers. And one of the first things that I get all the time is, Eric, I like golf, I like being around golf, but I'm not a very good golfer. Well, that's the least of my concern. I want you to come out because you're willing to be a positive role model for children and take that action to give back to the community. You can pick and choose when you're available, and we can work through that through flexibility in our schedule. So if anybody ever wants to talk about becoming a volunteer for First Tee, feel free to contact me. The second part about that is I'll talk more about from a fundraising perspective, and that is you see on your tables and in the back, provided a brochure flyer on that opportunity, but it is our golf marathon. So as Chris alluded to, who likes to play golf? Who likes to play a lot of golf? That event is, if you like to play golf and you like to play a lot of golf, it's for you. The only thing that we ask as part of your requirement is that you assist in fundraising for the First Tee. I think sometimes there's some trepidation around that. It's difficult to ask people for money nowadays. You know, but overall, we can provide some resources that can make that that seamless delivery to potential donors very easy for you. So if either one of those opportunities is within your willingness to give it a shot, feel free to contact us.
Okay, and so how many games in a row? Because I believe that my friend Eric played like 4 or 5 games in a row.
So
I'm good for like 9 holes.
yeah. So I will tell you this, because it's a marathon, we have told our participants that they have to play a minimum of 36 holes. Beyond that, it's your choice of how many you play. We have people in GR that play over 200 holes in a day, which is just crazy.
What's the Guinness Book of World Record for how many holes of golf can you play in a 24-hour period? I think you guys should track that and beat the world record. I like it. Lisa, tell us more about how individuals can get involved in your organization.
Well, again, I mean, the big one for us is volunteers. I mean, we need hundreds of coaches each year. And because each team has 2 coaches for the safety of girls. And so, you know, every year, again, I mean, I think we had 150 coaches in Muskegon this year. So, you know, if that person that wants to be the role model and really have an impact, it's a great way when you're spending, you know, twice a week for 10 weeks with girls and really helping to change their lives. And or at our 5K event, which is coming up in May. I mean, we generally need about 80 volunteers, but this year it's completely free, but we're adding in something new as a fun run for the kids that are from 4 years old to 2nd grade, so they can come out and do a little run and maybe run off some energy before their sibling takes off in the 5K. But, you know, just an opportunity to engage with families again, but you know, really, those volunteers are a big, I mean, they're the crucial piece to our program. We couldn't do it without them.
So there's a lot of skilled people here because of the Seaway Run that do this. Handing water, right? Course marshaling, that's a thing. Yeah.
Those are all the important ones at our 5K, you know, although we are changing our route this year, so we're going down the bike path and hopefully less arms waving directions, but, you know, a runner to be a coach for Girls on the Run either, because we tell them that if they can walk, run, not literally skip it, but skip through it, as long as they cross the finish line, that's the important part.
Absolutely. What's going on with TTQ? When is your big event?
So our big final 5K is May 20th, and we are going to be at Oak Ridge Middle School for our final 5K. So I am echoing essentially what Eric and Lisa have said as well. Or we need hand out some waters. We need some help handing out some bibs or things like that. But essentially, we need people to cheer on our teams and cheer on all of our kiddos. We take volunteers in that capacity, but we're also really looking for more coaches, committed coaches. We have 2 coaches to 5 to 15 male identifying students. And so we're looking to be in as many places and spaces as we can, essentially. And so you essentially are helping us do that. We're in the business of making connections. We appreciate time and resources in that regard. And so if you know of anybody or have any connections, please connect us or please connect them with us. We would be very encouraged to pursue that a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you so much to each of you for coming to present today. We really appreciate it. Please give them a round of applause if you wouldn't mind. And we've got a few minutes for questions. Anyone?
This is for Eric, as a proud West Michigan First Tee board member. wanted to set the table for you to answer something in terms of impact you've seen First Tee have on students beyond the program. So you mentioned what happens during the program while they're in it, but what have you seen in terms of impact well beyond that?
Yeah, Randy, thanks for putting that in there for me. We, you know, this is a newer initiative for us as it relates to kids specifically coming back to us. And coming back to us because they had a positive experience in some way, shape, or form, either through a coach, either sitting on one of our boards, maybe volunteering. And we take great pride in that. You know, another piece of it is there's so many opportunities beyond even high school for our kids. There's the Evans Scholarship where kids during their time at First Tee, they also caddy. They caddy at different golf courses that offer that opportunity. And then that Evans Scholarship provides scholarship opportunities to a number of different universities in the state of Michigan. So there's just so much to it. There's so much opportunity, you know. And one of the things that I talk about, you know, originally when we started talking about, you know, the initial introduction of the program, and it's a beginner program, but there's things for older kids too. We do direct instruction for kids. So kids who want to go out and play tournament golf and they get to tournament golf and they don't want to look like deer in the headlights, we can provide them with PGA professionals where they receive direct instruction for a reduced rate. So a typical family would go to a PGA professional and pay anywhere between $60 and $100. We could provide that at more like $15 to $40. So there's so many opportunities beyond the initial phases of First Tee that, because we want to be an all-inclusive organization.
First and foremost, thanks for everything you guys do for kids. I think that's awesome. Having played golf with Eric, he knows where my skill level is, and it's in the category of I like to play, and that's about where it ends. But my question is, hypothetically, let's say two guys who like to raise money for various things have been talking these last couple minutes about playing in the marathon this year. How does one get signed up for that?
So on that sheet, there is either my contact number, and I think there's actually an opportunity to scan, an opportunity to fill out an entry form, and we'll talk. It is, and that's one of the things that we want people to understand about the marathon is sometimes there's some trepidation around playing a number of holes by yourself, but grab a buddy. Maybe somebody plays 50 and you play 50, or maybe you play 36 and the other guy plays 70 something. We want it to be flexible. We want to be innovative. We want people to understand that it's not always about the dollar amount for us. It's a really, really fun day. Now, Randy will allude to that you might want to take a few aspirin before you play, and you might want to take the day off of work the following day.
Listen, Randy's old. I'm a pretty young guy. Sorry. No, we've got a plan, and that we'd like to talk to you about making it not only a social event for people to come out and watch, but also maybe streaming something live too.
Awesome.
So
Great.
we'd be happy to help.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I can't think of anything better to do with young people of that age than to get them to run around in circles. You know, they do that to us, so it's only fair play, you know, turn it around a little. Today we have birthdays. I know at least one of you are here. Ellen Alpert has a birthday on March 24th. J.J. Lewis has a birthday on March 28th. And Howard Hardesty has a birthday on March 29th. I see J.J. I don't know if Howard's here, but we'll sing to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. I always ask people to give us their birthday gift. Just a reminder that traditionally we give a $10 birthday gift to the club, and that goes to Caring Connections. And that's a group of people that are looking after our well-being and encouraging us when we get stuck in some life, human stuff. And so that's where your birthday gift goes to. Now we have a member spotlight. We are trying to make our membership as rich and diverse as our community is, and that also includes what people are doing in their lives when they're not here at Rotary with us. So today we'll learn a little bit about Lysandra Gaddy.
I am Lysandra Gaddy. I also go by Sandra, but I'm CEO of Women's Resource Center, which is an organization that is located in Grand Rapids and have a presence here in Muskegon and in Ottawa County. And the reason I joined Rotary is to greater connect within the community. I am originally from Detroit, Michigan. I fondly call it Detroit, from the east side of the city. And I came here when I met my husband, Arlen Gaddy, who's also a member and fellow Rotarian. But we have 3 children, 2 girls and a son, and they're adult children. And I am blessed with some wonderful grandchildren as well. I'm G-ma to them. And I have a fantastic family, and I love them. And we love to explore the Lake Shore and all that West Michigan has to offer. Well, I am the CEO of Women's Resource Center, and what we do as an organization, we serve women who are underemployed, unemployed, low-income single moms, and women coming out of the justice system. One of our programs that is near and dear to my heart is our New Beginnings program, and our New Beginnings program is located within Muskegon County, Ottawa County, and Kent County jails. And we help women 90 days pre-release and up to 18 months after release with workforce development skills, removing barriers, and getting their foot in the door as they head into the community. I would say the committee that is near and dear to my heart now is being part of the DEI committee, and Aslan and Scott helped connect me there, and I'm so excited about the work that is taking place there and looking forward to greater impact for the Rotary, but also greater impact for the Muskegon community.
And now we have a chance to have more impact as we ask Ethan Lohman to come up with your sponsor, Courtney Perret, to induct for an induction.
Good afternoon. All right, pretty good kickoff to an induction when you get to bring your guests, so we get to check off a red star for him right away, so that's kind of exciting. Ethan Lohman grew up in Northern California on his family's almond ranch as the oldest of 4 siblings. Fun fact, we say almond, he says almond. Ask him about it sometime, he will be happy to correct you. After an injury his senior year of high school caused him to lose his scholarship to the University of Oregon for football, he decided to join the United States Air Force as an airborne mission systems specialist. After getting home from the Air Force, Ethan studied at Calvary Chapel College, followed by Frontier School of the Bible, becoming an ordained minister, at which point he and his 2 children, Adabel, who is almost 12, and Hunter is 10, moved to West Michigan. He's worked a variety of jobs, including as a mechanic, office manager, and finally portfolio manager for an athletics company before discovering a career in finance. This career has led him to work for Huntington Bank, Chase, and PNC, all as senior branch manager before finding home at Community Choice Credit Union as member center manager just over here on Western Avenue. During his almost decade in finance, he's become certified in many things, including as a small business advocate, woman in business advocate, military market champion, finance for Veterans Advocate, received his certificate of nonprofit board education, and most recently has become a certified credit union financial counselor through the CUNA National Credit, or the Credit Union National Association. His hobbies include airplanes, as he plans to get his private pilot license, working on and restoring classic cars, golfing, hunting, the outdoors, and traveling with his girlfriend. He also is a proud chili dog eating contest winner, holding his title as champion over, over another manager in our area. Ethan has a passion for helping the people and communities around him. This passion has led him to serving on the board of 2 nonprofit organizations as a vice president and treasurer, and he was a youth pastor for 8 years. Ethan hopes to make a larger impact on the people and place he now calls home. His favorite sayings to live by are, "The risk is only present if the persistence isn't," and "When I die, let there be no ifs to ponder." His favorite book is The Giver, and unfortunately has too many loved movies to pick a favorite. He is very excited to be partnering with other Rotarians here in the room and abroad to move our city and the next generation forward into the unknowns of the future. It is my pleasure to introduce and welcome Ethan to the Muskegon Rotary Club. Stay. Stay.
You will be my assistant here.
Yes.
Jason, that sounded like a gauntlet. With that chili dog, I think we need to get into some training here. Okay. We're on. Okay. Ethan, you have been chosen for membership of the Rotary Club of Muskegon because of your standing in your vocation and in the community, and because of your personal qualities, which we believe will make you a good Rotarian. By joining the Rotary Club of Muskegon, you have become part of a worldwide organization of business and professional leaders united in fellowship to provide humanitarian service, to encourage high ethical standards in all vocations, and to create goodwill and achieve peace throughout the world. We accept you as a member because we believe you will adopt these high principles of Rotary as your own, and that you will do everything you can to fulfill your membership obligations as these become known to you. There are, of course, many privileges of membership, and I think you will quickly find that one of the most important of these will be your regular enjoyment of friendship, of like-minded individuals in an egalitarian atmosphere, not only in this club, but in Rotaries worldwide. Your proposer, Courtney, will now present you with the Rotary lapel pin, which should be worn at all times. This will identify you as a Rotarian and will assure you of warm welcome in 36,913 Rotary clubs over 200 countries. Also, your name badge that will include your classification. It is important as it signifies the vocation you represent, of which you are ambassador to Rotary. Rotarians, would you please rise as I now present to you our new member, Rotarian Ethan Lohman, as the newest Rotarian in the world. And now we have announcements from our very well they walk through the door, especially those people who had this task before me and know the rules. Jason Piasecki would love to have us help promote the Pours for Community, which is coming up on April 21st and runs through May 6th. These posters are up here available to you. You can bring them back to your place of commerce or entertainment, or hang it on your bathroom wall to warn your family where you're going to be on these nights. It's an important thing to keep communication open. So please come up here and get a poster at the end of the meeting. And now Meredith has an announcement.
Hey, everybody, pretend I'm Jenny Sprague. Just a reminder for Brave Rotarians who are participating in March Madness that the Sweet 16 has kicked off for the men's bracket today and the women's bracket tomorrow. So may the odds be ever in your favor. And if you owe money, please see Kim Boersma because we will not give you bragging rights or your Paul Harris Fellow, according to Jenny, until you pay us. So go green, even though I am always a go blue at heart.
They are eliminated. Oh, that's a shame. Did you have something, John? Yeah, 30 seconds. I'm timing.
13 interactors from 6 clubs plus 3 of us from this club are leaving for El Salvador Tuesday night. I can't say thank you enough to everyone who has helped in any way. Check out your RIM for the long list of people who've helped us get this far. And especially today to Doug Brown for the donation of that beautiful office chair in the back. And the bid sheets are still open. The $4,000 we sent to El Salvador in 2020 is still there for us. It's buying housing materials. And whatever money we take from the bidder on that chair and the recent generous donations will go toward building 11 homes next week. So we'll send pictures. Hopefully you'll have one to look at next Thursday. Thank you, Jane.
We were going to ask you to join us next Wednesday from 5:30 to 7 for the showing of 13, a documentary about prison boom. It's going to be at the Muskegon Area District Library offices on Airline Road, and we will have a special guest willing to share his story of incarceration. Kim's going to send out another reminder and a Sign Up Genius link today. If you missed it the first time, you have a chance now, and I hope to see you there. I think it's going to be a wonderful evening that we will learn a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Last announcement. On your table, you will have an announcement of the Rotary clothing order. This closes on Sunday, so if you haven't ordered your hoodies or shirts or caps, now's the time to do it. And thank you, Kareem, for heading this up. And the raffle. Who's our raffle meister? Ed. Ooh. All right, there we are. Oh, yay. Okay, thanks, Ed. Next week, our program is going to be something that you didn't know you needed to know, but you are going to be fascinated when you find out. It's Swanson Pickles. And I'm telling you, I guarantee this is one you don't want to miss. Everything you think you know about pickles, there's so much more. So next week, Swanson Pickles, and we will be back at the Delta. Is that right? Okay, back at the Delta next week. So let us rise and say our 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?